One number changed everything. In 2024, for the first time in American history, the United States paid more in interest on its national debt than it spent on its entire military. $1 trillion. Gone before a single soldier was paid, before a single road was repaired, before a single dollar reached the programs ordinary Americans depend on. Just interest. And here is why that number should stop you cold right now. Because you are living inside the same story that played out in Rome, in Istanbul, and in London. And in every single case, the people living through it did not see it as a crisis. They saw it as a budget problem, a temporary imbalance, something the next administration would fix. It was never temporary. Every empire that has ever held global power crossed this exact line before it fell. Not after the collapse, not during the final crisis, before. While the currency was still dominant, while the military was still the strongest on earth, while everything still looked completely fine. The line between an empire that can still choose its future and one that is slowly losing that ability is not a war, it is not a revolution. It is a number on a spreadsheet that nobody talks about until it is too late. America crossed that line last year, and most Americans have no idea it happened. To understand why this number matters, you need to understand what it actually means for a government to spend more on debt interest than on its military. It means the past is consuming the present. Every dollar that goes to interest payments is a dollar that was borrowed years ago, often decades ago, to pay for something that no longer exists. A war that ended, a stimulus package that was spent, a tax cut that added to the deficit. The thing it paid for is gone. The bill is still here, and the bill keeps growing. In 2024, America paid $1 trillion in interest. In 2025, the projection is higher. By 2034, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that interest payments will be the single largest line item in the entire federal budget. Larger than Social Security, larger than Medicare, larger than the Pentagon. The government's own numbers say this. This is not a fringe analysis. This is not a political argument. This is the arithmetic of a debt that has grown faster than the economy's ability to service it. And here is the part that history makes very clear. No empire has ever reached this point and then simply grown its way out. Not one. The math does not work that way. Once interest costs exceed military costs, the choices available to a government begin to narrow. And they keep narrowing, year by year, quietly, without a single headline, until one day the options are gone. Rome crossed this line in the 3rd century. The legions were still the most powerful military force on earth. The Roman currency was still accepted from Britain to Mesopotamia. The Senate still met. The courts still functioned. The infrastructure of empire was completely intact. But the math had already moved. Interest on imperial debt was consuming the treasury faster than taxation could replace it. The response was to debase the currency. Silver coins became copper coins with a silver coating. It bought time, roughly 50 years. But it transferred the cost of the debt onto every Roman who held savings, paid rent, or bought food. Prices rose faster than wages. The purchasing power of ordinary Romans eroded year by year, a slow compression that never produced a single dramatic moment but accumulated across decades into something that could not be reversed. The people did not experience a collapse. They experienced a slow narrowing of what their money could do. A government that kept promising stability while quietly making each citizen poorer to service a debt they had no part in creating. The Ottoman Empire followed the same path 6 centuries later. By the 1870s, debt service had consumed the budget entirely. In 1881, the empire surrendered control of its own tax revenue to foreign creditors. A committee of European bankers sat in Istanbul and decided how Ottoman money was spent. The empire lasted another 40 years. But the decisions were no longer Ottoman. Britain is the clearest comparison to America's current position. After 2 world wars, debt service consumed more of the British budget than defense. The pound was still the world's second reserve currency. Britain still had nuclear weapons. The institutions of empire were completely intact. And yet the choices available to British policymakers had already begun to narrow. The response was predictable. Cut defense. Withdraw from overseas commitments. Choose the currency over the economy. Between 1947 and 1976, Britain made that choice over and over again. raised interest rates to protect sterling rather than lower them to help workers, cut investment to maintain credibility rather than spend to rebuild capacity. The currency status became a trap, and ordinary British families felt it, not as a crisis, as a slow compression. Wages that did not keep pace with the real cost of living, housing that became harder to afford for each successive generation, government services that shrank every year while the debt stayed the same size, a country that still looked like a great power from the outside, while the people living inside it felt things getting quietly, persistently harder. Most of them believed it was temporary, that the system would correct itself, that the next government would find a way through. It did not correct itself. In 1976, the IMF arrived in London with conditions, not because Britain collapsed suddenly, because Britain had spent 29 years making the same choice and finally ran out of room to keep making it. The correction came from outside. Now look at America's numbers with that history in mind. The dollar's share of global foreign exchange reserves has fallen from 73% in 2001 to approximately 57% today. Not a crash. A steady, consistent decline across 24 years. Foreign central bank holdings of U.S. Treasury bonds are at their lowest level since 2012. The countries that once recycled their trade surpluses into American debt are quietly reducing their exposure. Central banks globally bought more gold in 2023 and 2024 than in any year since 1967. That is not a coincidence. That is a signal. When the institutions responsible for managing national reserves start moving money out of dollars and into gold at a pace not seen in 60 years, they are saying something about their confidence in the system. The yuan share of global trade settlement is rising every quarter. CIPS, China's alternative to the SWIFT payment network, processed a record 1.22 trillion yuan in a single day in March 2026. None of these are signs of collapse. They are the same quiet repositioning that happened in the decade before Britain lost reserve currency status. The world does not announce that it is moving away from a currency. It does not hold a press conference. It just slowly, quietly reduces its exposure, diversifies its reserves, builds alternative infrastructure, and the country at the center rarely notices until the numbers become impossible to explain away. America's numbers crossed that threshold in 2024. Here is what this means for the person watching this video right now. Every dollar spent on interest is a dollar not spent on something else. The compression is not abstract. It is not a policy debate. It shows up in the physical world in ways that are easy to see once you know what you are looking at. Roads that are not repaired because the infrastructure budget was cut to offset rising debt costs. Research programs that are not funded. Veterans who wait longer for care because the discretionary budget keeps shrinking. Schools that cannot hire teachers because state governments are managing their own debt burdens. None of this produces a single headline that says America is in decline. It produces potholes. It produces waiting lists. It produces a generation of young Americans who have done everything right and still cannot afford to buy a house in the city where they work. The Roman legions were not defeated in battle. They were slowly drawn back, province by province, commitment by commitment. Not because Rome lost a war, but because Rome could no longer pay for what it had built. Britain did not lose an empire in battle. It sold it, piece by piece, to pay the bills. America is not at that point, but it crossed the line in 2024. And history is very consistent about what comes after crossing it. The compression does not reverse on its own. It continues until something forces a reckoning. The question is what that reckoning looks like, and who decides the terms. Washington understands what this number means. The Congressional Budget Office publishes the projections. The Treasury releases the data every quarter. The Federal Reserve tracks every indicator. The information is not hidden. The problem is not information. The problem is that every institution built during America's period of dominance is optimized to defend that dominance, not to manage a transition away from it, not to prepare the domestic economy for a world where reserve currency status is not permanent, to defend it at any cost. Britain's Treasury spent the 1950s and 1960s writing policy documents about how to maintain sterling's reserve currency status, not about how to transition away from it. not about how to rebuild the domestic economy without it, about how to hold the line at any cost. America's institutions are making the same calculation right now, and the gap between what those institutions assume and what the data already shows is growing wider every year, until the gap becomes undeniable, until the cost of defending the position exceeds the cost of admitting the transition. Britain hit that point in 1976. The question for America is not whether that point exists, it is when it arrives, and whether anyone in Washington will be willing to say it out loud before the arithmetic forces the conversation. The next video looks at the 3 remaining tools America has to delay that moment, how long each one buys, and what it costs ordinary Americans each time one of them is used. That video is already up. Link is in the description.